Well, at this year's Mira Awards, the Service Partner of the Year, KSM Consulting, one of two awards, KSM Consulting winning at this year's event. I'm pleased to be joined now by John Roach. John is Chief Revenue Officer at KSM Consulting. And John, congratulations on the award, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. We were very proud to take home two this year.
Give us the model, KSM Consulting. As the name suggests, you're a consulting company, but talk a little bit about really your focus and your model.
Sure. So KSM Consulting was started about 11 years ago, essentially out of this recognition that often, technology projects didn't actually align with business needs inside of organizations. So what we've really tried to do is build the organization out of the mindset of solving real problems that organizations had and their most important problems. So we're really a data analytics and IT services company with management consulting sprinkled all across that. So we do make sure we make that connection.
And John, we're going to talk about some specific projects in a moment, but KSM Consulting has enjoyed some pretty impressive growth, not only in terms of revenue, but in terms of adding people. You've been adding talent here for the past year or so.
Yeah, we have. So I joined the company now almost 10 years ago. I think I was employee 12 or so. I think we just crested 250 recently. Wow. We were fortunate enough to have a large investment from a private equity fund in March of last year. That's enabled some of our growth. And we actually just closed on the acquisition of an Ohio and Michigan-based company about a month ago. So it's been exciting.
Do a lot of work for tech and tech-enabled companies in Indiana and beyond. Talk a little bit about it. Give us a flavor, if you will, some of the work you're doing for the tech in the tech space.
Sure. So we have between 250 and 300 clients, and I think the core theme there is really they're forward thinking and view IT as a strategic asset inside of the organization. So that is both for tech companies specifically, other companies that you might not think as tech companies, but tech plays a huge role, in the way they do work. And then also we do a lot of work in the public sector. So a lot of work for state government, a lot of work for local government, and technology and data analytics are becoming, as everyone knows, a really increasingly important part of their ability to effectively deliver services to citizens. Yeah,
I know the Mira judges were particularly impressed by the work you have done, innovative work in the public sector. In particular, a deal and some work you did for the Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center. As we were talking off camera a bit ago before the interview started, you say innovation has really not been present to a great extent in the public sector. You tried to make this something different with using innovation to help in their supply chain.
Yeah, so Crane and DoD in general, the Department of Defense in general, has a really tough challenge in that warfare has now moved digital in large part, and that affects both physical assets and the digital assets you'd normally think of. We were kind of fortunate enough to help them tackle a really tough challenge there, using some pretty advanced data analytics to head off third party, you can probably think of the country's attempts to infiltrate our microelectronic supply chain.
Yeah, and I know you talk about really a human-centered, agile approach to the deal as well.
Yeah, so what we found over the course of last 11 years doing this type of work is data analytics and IT projects hardly ever fail because of the technology. They fail because that technology, really fails to be built in recognition of the culture of the organizations and the processes. So we took a very agile development approach, very human-centered approach to both, ensure that the technology was good as it needs to be, but also that technology aligned kind of exactly with how the organization wanted to use it to make sure it both get used and create the biggest impact that it possibly could.
KSM Consulting, the Service Partner of the Year award winner at the Mira Awards, one of two awards for the company. John Roach is the Chief Revenue Officer at KSM Consulting. John, thanks for joining us and congratulations.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate it so much.